And I came to know the Lord. I remember, the Lord just put it on my heart to come in relationship with Him. I went before our church, made my profession of faith. I was lucky. I grew up with a loving mother and father. My father has passed away. My mother's still alive. Just like I wasn't a perfect kid, they weren't perfect parents. I had 3 great-grandparents, so I just really had a great life. We attended church in my early years, but we were not every Sunday and every Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday. That's not how I grew up. Then I entered what I call my prodigal years. I love the prodigal story. In the passage it says that the younger son, he set off for the distant country. He purposely walked away from his father. I can't say that was my testimony. I don't know that I just willingly did it, but I just spent many years living a life that was satisfying to Tim, without really any thought process of what would the Lord want for me to do? What would the Lord put upon my heart to do? No focus on really what the Lord would have me to do. And I just spent a lot of time just kind of stumbling around through my life. I love where he says, when he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. So it's this picture that the Lord sets, and He waits for us to come home with compassion. What a great God that we do serve, right? Towards my end of time at A&M, I met a couple, Kirk and Kelly Childress. They were about to get married, and the Lord now clearly He put them in my life. And so when I moved to Houston for my job, I didn't know anyone down there. My mom was really concerned about that. I wasn't. I was 22, 23 years old, going to Houston with a good job. I was like, this is great. They just really took me in, for lack of a better word. And I remember they said, well, we normally go to church on Sunday with Kirk's parents. And I was a single guy living by myself, and they threw in that we usually go to lunch after church, or Miss Childress cooks. So I'm like, okay, I'm interested. And so I began to go to church with them, and really it was my church attendance for many, many years was very sporadic. Sadly enough, I just didn't really do anything. Paul talks about there's the milk of the word and the meat, and we're to grow in our faith. Well, I was still a baby Christian many, many years later, and I blame that on myself. And it was the Lord was willing, He was ready, but I just wasn't focused on this.